What if you could step inside the mind of someone extraordinary? Not just hear their story, but actually see how they think at the deepest level. Welcome to the Think Like series, where we go beyond surface level conversations and straight into the subconscious minds of renowned thinkers, creators, and innovators. Instead of just talking about success, we reveal what's happening beneath the surface, the beliefs, the habits, the hidden breakthroughs that even our guests may not have realized before this moment. And here's what makes the series so powerful. Not only do these sessions unlock game-changing insights for our guests, but they also reveal profound lessons for you. Because when we dive into someone's subconscious, we're not just learning about them, we're also learning about ourselves. And today we're stepping into the subconscious of someone who has dedicated her life to transformation, Danette May. Danette is a best-selling author, high-performance coach, and one of the most sought-after wellness leaders in the world. She's helped millions of people step into their power through fitness, mindset, and ancient healing principles. You may have seen her on The Today Show, Access Hollywood, or speaking on stages worldwide. She's built a global movement centered around health, abundance, and self-love. But today, instead of teaching, Danette is here to experience her own subconscious breakthroughs, and we get to witness them firsthand. In this episode, we're not just uncovering the subconscious patterns that have shaped Danette's journey, we're unlocking powerful lessons that you can apply to your own life too. As we dive into her subconscious mind, you'll discover how her company grew from $700,000 to $40 million in a single year. How Danette was able to heal from the grief of a tremendous loss, and how she was able to escape an extreme religious upbringing, but still develop her own beautiful connection to spirituality. What makes this format so powerful is that the subconscious breakthroughs we uncover aren't just for Danette, they're for all of us. When we listen deeply, we recognize patterns in our own lives. And sometimes the exact wisdom we need to hear is the message someone else's subconscious is revealing. So as you listen, stay open, take note of what resonates, and get ready to uncover insights that could change the way you think about healing, abundance, and the limitless potential already inside you. If you're ready to think like Danette May, let's begin. Danette, thank you for being here. I love you so much. You are one of my favorite humans on earth. And I told you the premise of this podcast years ago, and you have been such a champion and such a supporter of this interviewing the subconscious mind concept since then.
I love it. It's so exciting. And even Craig, I was telling him, I was like, Grace is taking me there for her new show. Some of the questions that I got asked were really intimate. And he goes, I can't wait to hear this show. And that for coming from him, I think a lot of people are going to really resonate and get a lot of deep, profound messages from the guests that you have on.
Yeah, it's been incredible thus far. So still lots to explore, but your husband, Craig, is the best. He's been such a supporter as well. And actually, our friendship, you and I, started with hypnotherapy. We met at a conference years ago and immediately had a session, and then immediately we're besties.
Exactly. That's the best way to figure out your friendships.
Totally. 100%. So there is so much that I want to know about your subconscious, because I get to see you not just when you're in front of the camera. I don't just see you speaking on stages. I see you behind the scenes, and you are truly one of the few human beings I've ever met who are exactly the same. Like, to the point where I'm pretty sure 9 out of 10 times when I call you, this is what I'm going to hear. Hi, I'm just running in the snow. Like,
Totally.
You're actually outside in nature, exercising and praying and meditating and doing all of the things that you teach your audience. It's not performative. It's not a show. It's not something you read somewhere where you're like, oh, I'll get good search engine optimization if I talk about this. Everything you share, you live.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
It's rare.
Oh, man, I wish it wasn't, because it's so much easier to just share from your experience.
Yeah. I think one of the things we can all learn from your subconscious and get excited to think more like Danette is the fact that you do embody these things, because there are so many ways of eating that we know are better for our systems, and ways of thinking that are better for our minds, and ways of moving our body. And they're just not happening. They haven't been embodied. We know them cognitively, but they haven't become a part of our everyday lived experience, and they have for you. So I can't wait to help our listeners and to help me bridge that gap further.
This is exciting, actually.
The other thing that I love about you so much, and that I can't wait to discuss with your subconscious, is you as an entrepreneur, the incredible success that you've had. And you've been candid about this in the past. You've shared that your company, Mindful Health, had 1 year where revenue was around $700,000. Certainly very exciting and fantastic. But the very next year, it was over 40 million. So you went from 700,000 to over 40 million in 1 year. You were 48th out of 5,000 on the Inc. 5,000 list in 1 year. So I am absolutely going to ask your subconscious about this, because this is energetic as much as it is having an amazing product and being brave and working your butts off. So any conscious thoughts about what it took to have that rocket ship experience and to maintain it?
Oh, man. It's interesting to hear you actually repeat this out loud to me right now, because I don't know if I've actually really sat with that and really reflected on that. Because when you said it like that, I was like, wow, that is odd. That is a little odd. And I'm a little raw today because we sold one of our companies. And now I can actually share it because it's been signed, and I've been emotional. I've been crying this morning because of the tenderness of a chapter, or I should say a book. It's an era that's ending, and just this gratitude for the team, and gratitude for myself, and gratitude that it gets to fly in new ways without me. Like, I'm going to be in a different role with it. So it's very interesting. But that's also been a dream, to actually sell a company and sell it the way I wanted to sell it, and to actually have it sold the way I wanted it to be sold is kind of surreal.
Wow. And that just happened yesterday?
Literally late last night, it was signed, and today we told the team.
Oh, Danette. Oh my goodness. And we're
super
getting
raw.
to interview your subconscious today.
Yeah.
Anyone listening who's not only entrepreneurial, but who wants to improve their abundance and their financial standing, there was a time where you had $7 in your bank account. We're going all the way back to you had 2 little girls and you didn't know how to make ends meet. And now last night you sold a company and everything in between. So I'm going to ask your subconscious a lot about that.
Okay.
And then one of the other things that is so admirable to me about how you live your life is because you've been through so much. You have not had a sunshine and rainbow kind of life at every turn. You lost your son, Hap. And I remember when we first met, I started crying, asking you, how did you ever heal from that? How were you ever able to function again? And you were just beaming, smiling, describing the healing process and everything Hap taught you, and all of the things that that experience allowed you to experience. And I think for everyone listening, whether they're a parent or not, the idea of losing a child is the most terrifying, heartbreaking thing a person could imagine. And I don't think anyone would blame you if you never left your bedroom again.
Yeah.
But instead, again, the level of healing is so comprehensive and allows you to shine and like cracks you open to experience even more love. So I want to ask about things like that, and the fact that you were able to leave Mormonism, and even in the last year, you've gone through more traumatic things that you've healed. So conscious thoughts before we ask about that, where like, where does the deep, true healing come from? Because you're not faking it.
Yeah, I want to name something because this is going to be a journey that a lot of people are going to be listening to with your new show. And I honestly think there's going to be really powerful, impactful people listening in. And I want to say, as a person that knows grace, that I wouldn't agree to this with just any hypnotherapist, that Grace is one of the most integrous humans I know. And I'm not just saying it because she's my friend. She lives integrity. She embodies it as her true essence. And I trust her with my subconscious because this is sacred space. And I trust her with it, her honesty and her integrity. So I just want to say that for anyone who may be thinking, should I do this with Grace? You can trust and lean into Grace and what she's doing here for sure.
Oh, thank you, love. Just based on the very first session we had before we were even friends and before I knew anything about you other than your biography, and meaning, too, I want to back up. Before we even became friends, I remember this moment where I was scrolling on the internet and this beautiful woman pops up and starts showing on a Facebook Live that she puts lemon juice into her hot water every morning. And it had millions of views and millions of shares. And Facebook Live was brand new. And I hadn't even met you yet. And I called to Bernarda from the other room and I was like, Bernarda, look at this radiant angel talking about lemon water. And it has millions of shares. So I just knew from having seen that video, first of all, that there was something special about you. Because as helpful as it is to know that it's great to start your morning with lemon water, there's something extra special going on when millions of people decide to share that. So I immediately knew there was something energetically special about you. But also I knew you were a smart businesswoman. So in addition to all these things, you're a loving mom. You know, you and Craig have such a phenomenal marriage. So it's really fun when Danette and I get together because we can talk about every single thing, from the most woo-woo spiritual to the most brass tacks. How are you structuring your team? To, how are you raising your daughters? And what can you teach me about my little ones? Now, before I get into what your audience wanted to know about your subconscious, because we've got some really amazing questions, is there anything you want to know about your subconscious?
I actually like this question about why do I feel that I've gone down this path, and I'm picking up on something and I'm sensing from a conscious level and maybe a little bit of a deeper level, because I think there's a correlation between deep healing past trauma, forgiveness, doing that inner work that we often label as shadow work or whatever we want to label it. I sense there's a huge correlation between that and what people are labeling as success, whether it's in business or in relationships or in health or whatever that is. I'm sensing I wouldn't be where I'm at because I did go through really hard things, and we all are going to go through really hard things. And I've been really committed to really choosing to love everything, even the gnarly. And it's not been easy to love everything and to surrender to the lessons, surrender to what is and what was, so that I can become who I am. I'd be more curious about that.
Okay, fantastic. So in addition to that, a couple of things from your audience. You have a great community, and you polled your community. You want to tell us a little bit about the community that you proposed these questions to?
Yeah, we got them last minute, and I wanted to, instead of doing my social community or even my email community, because that's one perception, right? When you look on social, you only see the amazingness. And so that might have drawn different questions. And I proposed it to my innermost premium coaching members. And there's hundreds in there, but they do coaching with me 2 times a week or 2 times a month. And we go deep. We talk about relationships. We're clearing trauma together. So I went to them because I felt that they have seen a little bit behind the curtain already. They are in this kind of conversation. They welcome hypnotherapy, for one, and that's first and foremost, and they have a reverence and a curiosity that's appropriate for it. So we went to them, and I think we only got a few, but I sense they were quite deep for the few that we got.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm sure, down the line we can do a part 2 and we'll have even more, but the ones that came were very deep. And I think it also shows the very many facets of why people are drawn to you, because they're also very different. So question 1, since you are so tuned into our Mother Earth, and with our devastating weather, fires here in California, floods, etc., what do you see, feel, and what can we do to make a difference? So we'll be asking your subconscious, truly, you are one of the most connected people I know to Mother Earth. There's a lot of people who go outside and walk around on the grass to ground themselves. But you're, again, the only friend I have who 9 out of 10 times when I call, you're just huffing and puffing through the snow. So you can get to the top of a mountain and meditate in like below 10 degree weather.
For sure.
You always describe your communion with nature as medicine, or you often do. And it's where you receive so many answers and so many downloads, so much guidance and so many ideas. You have a lot of internal guidance as well, but I really love that you have this really quite external. It's the trees, it's the mountain, it's the sunset. They're speaking to you. So we'll learn more about that. Okay, question 2. And I find this one a little bit interesting. So I know you limit yourself to politics as well as I for my mental health, but we, the people, for the next 4 years need to make sure we are heard and use our voices because we matter. I'm scared of what is going to happen. With your mass following of healers and wanting peace and love, how can we spread to the world to make a difference? I want to be purposeful with my prayers to my higher powers, universe, source for protection and guidance. What can we do with our hearts? So we'll ask the subconscious a version of this, but anything you want to say initially?
That's a bold question because I don't talk about politics to my community, not even my internal community. They don't know anywhere I stand. And the truth is, I don't even know if my conscious place of where I stand is actually the truth. I think that's the bigger truth is I think we actually don't know the truth. And that was actually a really bold, honest, vulnerable question. And I value that.
Yeah, absolutely. And something I've always loved about our friendship is that we were raised very, very differently. Mm-hmm. And to have pretty much ideologically opposed ideas just based on where we were in the country. But in our hearts, what we actually care about the most are always 100% aligned. I think that if more people had the opportunity to get very, very close with folks who were raised differently, they would find that their similarities far outweigh their differences.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this final question, so cool. With your most recent sharing of the healer individual male figure who hurt you, and along with the situation briefly shared with regard to a family member, I'm wanting to know if this has ultimately affected your deep innermost, your soul's trust in others. Clearly, from what I felt and saw at the Mana healing experience, as well as from the graceful way you speak in reference to such life experiences, you seem healed to the core, grateful for the now, while accepting and understanding that difficult, even traumatic events make us stronger and make us who we are today. For me, I'm beginning to work to heal not only for myself but for my daughter in order to settle the fire that has been burning inside so that we may heal together. So with that, I'm very curious to know if indeed your soul, not just your mind, has found peace even through the unspeakable.
What an eloquent question.
Yes. It's amazing how in just the few episodes that I've done so far, there is always a theme that naturally emerges. And we're already seeing one before we even go in. This concept of going through the fire and coming out stronger is already emerging. So we will see what we have in store. Anything else you want to add before we dive into the subconscious part?
No, I'm going to get comfortable.
Yes, get comfy. Now that we've set the stage, let's go deeper. We're about to enter Danette's subconscious mind. So if you're listening, take a breath and get ready for a fascinating journey. All right, Danette, go ahead and close your eyes. All the way down. Already beginning to relax both mind and body. Before we go any deeper, with your eyes still closed, in just a sentence or two, describe who you are.
I am Danette May, and I am from the stars.
You are Danette May, and you are from the stars. Taking another nice, deep, letting go breath as you relax all of the muscles in your face, relaxing all of the muscles in your body, especially your shoulder, connecting to that life force now, that breath, allowing each breath to become longer, deeper, slower than the one that came before it. Your spiritual support network. Any archangels, guides, loved ones, energies that are supportive, knowing this is a sacred space, knowing that everything that emerges here today is a blessing for all who hear it. Repeating in your mind after me, I am safe. I am calm. I am curious. And imagine now beautiful, white, bright, healing light beginning to flow in through the top of your head, all the way through your body, out the bottoms of your feet, down into the center of the earth. Knowing that this white, bright, healing light is an extension of Source. That Source is the ocean and you are a wave, always connected. And this white, bright, healing light enhances that connection, dissolves away the false perception of separateness. One with all that is. And that white, bright, healing light also burns up, dissolves, washes away the egoic, unhelpful stuff. The frenetic energy that blocks out the truth. Just feel it gently, lovingly dissolving away so that you are lighter and lighter, cleaner and cleaner, more and more open. And that true, with a capital T, connection to Source, to all that is, becomes so very crystal clear. And when that happens, let me know by saying out loud, the connection is crystal clear.
That connection is crystal clear.
That's right. The connection is crystal clear. Now beginning to form in your mind's eye is a gorgeous staircase. A staircase that's absolutely perfect for you. It could be sleek and simple, or elaborate and ornate. Whatever you notice is perfect and correct. And in just a moment, I'll begin to count down. With each and every single decreasing number that I say, you'll easily and effortlessly take a step down on your perfect staircase, doubling your relaxation as you do so. And at the bottom of the staircase will be your safe place. Beginning to descend now, 10, taking your first step down, doubling your relaxation. 9, the deeper you go, the better you feel. 8, the better you feel, the deeper you go. 7, feeling into the velvety darkness behind those eyelids. 6. And if your staircase has a banister or a railing, noticing its texture, its temperature as your fingers run over it, or noticing the absence of it. 5, even deeper, really let go. 4, nearly there now inside of your safe place. 3, hearing the sounds of your footsteps on the staircase. Do they echo? Are they muted or anything else? 2, really let go. And 1, be there now inside of your safe place. A place where you feel so wonderfully, deeply relaxed and perfectly safe that lasting transformation to your subconscious mind takes place. Wherever you are, anywhere on earth, anywhere in the universe, anywhere in any dimension is perfect and correct, so long as you are totally, completely safe while being there. Start by breathing in the pleasant smells, the pleasant fragrances. They're inside of your safe place. Reach out and touch something there. Feeling its texture, its roughness or smoothness. Then reach out and touch something else that has a very different texture. And then when you're ready, the sound of your own voice taking you even deeper, go ahead and describe in just a few words what your safe place is like.
I'm in a cove with turquoise blue water, mossy rocks. There's a bowl of sea salt for me to place on my tongue, and soft sand for my feet to stand in.
Beautiful. And as you soak up the beauty of your safe place, repeating in your mind after me, I am safe. I am calm. I am curious. And allowing this feeling of expansive curiosity to expand in your heart, to allow your subconscious to speak to you in a way that is so healing, engaging, to allow this communication to be more open than ever before. Feeling parts of yourself opening up to receive this wisdom. And start by asking your subconscious how it went from a place of having $7 in your human bank account to a year of $700,000 to the very next year of $40 million, all the way through this arc running up until last night when you sold a company for the first time. As I count you down even deeper, the wisdom of your subconscious mind shows you the messages, the lessons, the energetics you had to hold, the abundance you had to cultivate, and anything else that's important to know about this arc. 5, receiving the messages. 4, they well up from within. 3, the conscious mind resting. 2, because these answers will be shown to you, shared with you. 0 thinking is required. And 1, receiving that now and describing what comes to you when you're ready.
I see a rope, and it's a choice to take your hands and walk along the rope, just trusting where it's leading you, just continually walking, knowing that the rope keeps going. It requires belief that there is a rope. It requires trust that the rope keeps extending.
Going even deeper. 3, trusting what comes. 2, relaxing all of the muscles in your mind, in your face, in your body. And notice, is this rope specific to financial success, abundance? And either way, where did it come from? How long have you had it? And how did you first find it?
I'm being shown that the rope is just a metaphor. Like, we all have rope access. We all have these ropes that we can grab a hold of and be guided as we hold and just walk, almost as if we're in the dark. And we can walk knowing that this rope's going to guide us. And the rope and what we experience, whether it's money or beautiful, healthy bodies or these amazing relationships or just experiencing little things of a baby's hand in your hand to anything that we want to experience, that just shows its way along the rope if we believe that we're being guided. Keep walking in that belief that things will show and present themselves. It's just a reflection of the belief inside. But the rope is there, you can hold it. And to know that you have something to walk in the dark. And that it's always going, but you're creating the color. You're creating what you're actually seeing along the rope line.
Let's go back to the very first moment that your hands took a hold of this rope. Whether there was a conscious awareness or not, whether it was totally just your soul or your energy or your subconscious, the moment you first grabbed onto the rope and believed that it would continue extending. 5, trusting what comes as you go back in time. 4, all the way back now. 3, to the moment you as Danette May first grabbed onto the rope. 2, trusting what comes. And 1.
The rope is already there. It's not something that you have to grab. It's already there in your hands. We often let go, but it's always there. It was always there.
So the rope is always there. It's always in our hands. It's in our hands to start, but oftentimes we let go. Is that right?
We can let go or we can grab back again, but it's not something that you make a decision on. I mean, I just see this little baby, as we call a baby. It knows, it already has this lifeline. It already has this knowing. It's always there.
Beautiful. And if there are people who don't realize this, or they've let go, or they've forgotten to believe, or never remembered how, the trust isn't there, what can help them?
I see myself in front of someone and they're asking me this question, and I'm just seeing a baby. I would tell them to see themselves as a child, to go back and see if they can go inside themselves as a baby and remember what was already placed as gifts on this path. And that will help in this adult body to grab a hold.
So it sounds like some of the gifts you were coloring along the way, but they were already there, were the $7 and the 700,000 and the 40 million and the sale. Now, were they waiting for you as milestones, or was that part of the coloring?
I'm coloring, you're coloring, we're all coloring, and witnessing what we've already colored internally.
Well, you're doing so well, going even deeper. 3, doubling your relaxation. 2, and 1. And there's so many kinds of coloring that can take place.
What I'm feeling is like music notes. Like, let's take a color red and it has a certain vibration but a sound to it. Let's say red is abundance, and that red has a sound, a beat, a frequency or a note. See if you can hear that note as you place your energy on red, and see if you can bring that note inside your body, that sound inside your body. See if your body can walk with that beat, move with that beat. See the color that you've associated with that beat, filling up your body with that beat, that sound, that frequency. Whatever that is, put a color to it, a sound to it, and see if you can swallow that color and that sound inside your body and walk with it.
So if it's a beautiful, healthy body, put a color, put a sound to it, swallow it, and walk with it. If it's a beautiful relationship, a loving relationship, put a color, put a sound to it, swallow it, and walk with it. Is that right? Yes. Breathing in that salty sea air as you notice the turquoise waters. Even deeper now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Speaking of childhood, in just a moment you'll get to travel back in time to your childhood, to a moment that perhaps your conscious mind completely forgot about. 5, traveling back in time now, back to your childhood. 4, trusting what comes, keeping that wide open, curious state. 3, to something perhaps you've completely forgotten about at a conscious level. 2, a happy childhood memory that was so foundational to who you have become. And 1, be there now, fully and completely, breathing in the scene, letting it unfold before you. Noticing one detail first and then the rest. when you're ready, describing where you are and what's happening.
I'm sitting on a fence in a pasture, and I have all sorts of four-legged friends. And I realize that I can go out there and I can sing and make up songs, and the sheep know the vibrancy of me. They know what I'm singing, and they come and gather around me, listening. They are my friends. My time with them, I'm being shown the power of animals, and that they hold remembrances, information, guiding light on our path. And I didn't know that sheep held that so strongly.
Beautiful. So go ahead and reach out and run your fingers through some wool. And look into those beautiful eyes, those long eyelashes batting at you, their sweet hooves on the ground. Breathing in that wonderful mixture of scents of the fresh air and the sheep and your horse. You are seeing the power of the animals, that they hold remembrances and information, guiding light on your path. And you didn't know that sheep held that so strongly until just now. So out of the billions of memories your subconscious could have chosen, this is the most important one. This is the one out of everything your subconscious wanted you to see right now, to remember and to know in a deeper level than ever. And this was incredibly formational into the person you would become, into the formation of your subconscious mind. So 3 times ringing out, clear as a bell, just ask, why?
Why? Why? Why?
Receive the answer in your own time and share that when you're ready.
Animals are the wisdom keepers. Every animal. All the way down to ones that we might shoo away. They hold codes and information and remembrances. They may help you grab that rope. They may help you stay young, like a child. Remember, you're a child. They're imparting information to you that the voice could never impart.
Now, this may resonate, it may not. Either way is perfect and correct. And I feel into this little girl sitting on the fence in the pasture surrounded by the sheep. Even if her conscious mind wasn't fully aware of it yet, I get a sense of the sheep saying, we were getting her ready. There's no lecture, no whiteboard, no books, no studying, no hustling. Just by being surrounded by them, the wisdom lit up what was already in there, activated it.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing the songs I would make up. And they were all about, I would be about beauty and love, and they would just be made up songs, but I'm feeling that the sheep are telling me the words to sing as affirmations oozing through my cells, even though my mind would have thought I was singing those words. I was given the words to sing.
You were given the words to sing. So allow your body, your energy, your mind, your spirit, your soul to just soak up every last drop of this memory and the deeper understandings of it, and applying it to your life in the present and the future. And when that feels complete, let me know.
Feels complete.
Good. And now we're going to return back. It could be further back, it could be closer to now, to a time you totally forgot about, something that was very, very challenging. It could be scary, it could be sad, but ultimately it resulted in resilience or triumph. Again, a key foundational moment in you becoming who you are. And because you've already lived through it before, you don't need to live through it again. When you return to that memory, you'll be able to just watch it from a distance. Traveling there now in any direction of time or space. 5, trusting what comes. 4, knowing you're perfectly safe because you've already been through this before. 3, and yet deeper understanding, deeper integration can await you. 2, nearly there now. And 1. Slowly allowing the scene to unfold before you, noticing little details at first, and then describing where you are and what's happening when you're ready.
I'm seeing light. I'm hearing beeping. I'm in a hospital. See the nurses, and I'm little. And I'm having surgery. But the moment that feels really scary is when they're putting you out. It feels like you're leaving this earth plane. There's this moment of no longer being here, but being aware of your body starting to leave.
Yeah, that's right. You're little, you're in the hospital, you hear beeping, you see white at first, you're having surgery. The moment that's scary is that transition when they're putting you out, leaving this earth plane, that moment of no longer being here, of the body starting to leave. Continue to watch as that little you, that little girl, goes through her surgery. And when she's awake on the other side, we'll start to ask questions about why that moment was so formative in you becoming the woman you are here today.
I chose this so that I could go back. And parts of myself are remembering my other family, a reset. It looks like surgery, it looks like anesthesia outwardly, but it's an invitation for the soul to go into another realm, back to their original family, to buoy up the spirit to come back down again, to recalibrate and receive rest messages, and then come back. And a new body, a new formula, which would be called surgery on the other side, but it's all just a mirror of what's going on a very deeper, familiar family memory.
So go ahead and return back to that feeling where the spirit recalibrates. This planned return home to that realm, the original family, to find rest. And when you're ready, describe your original family in that place.
There isn't things. There isn't even really bodies. It's just love. It's just is love. But love, like most, will never experience on earth plane.
There's no things, no bodies. It just is. It's just love. And you, as a little girl, without any conscious awareness, experience the planned return home. And what is it about returning home to the original family, to that pure love, or anything else about this experience that made you who you are today?
I'm asking, like, if you were to go home after being gone for so long, like say you're in your 20s and you've left home and you've been traveling and you're tired and you're going through really hard things, and your mom calls you back home, and you come home to her arms and she feeds you this really delicious meal and nourishes you and gets you beautiful sheets to sleep in that smell like a remembrance. It's like that. It's like going back to the light and getting filled with it like a nourishing meal, and with sheets that smell like a remembrance of safety, and then putting you back so that you're buoyed up, you're full to continue on. And they're showing me that when we go through potential surgeries or things that feel really hard, or in particular this surgery, it could be that it's a reset to go home, to get full, so you can come back with that fullness, with that light, with that stamina to continue.
Beautiful. So go ahead and see, feel, and experience that little you emerging from the surgery. Just giving her a little wink, a little wave, blowing her a little kiss, because there's nothing that needs to be altered or updated about that memory. It all turned out perfect. But just this little acknowledgement of, I know you went home, you got full, you got to smell the sheets and feel so safe. And now your spirit is buoyed and you can come back here. Couple more questions for your subconscious here today. The first, returning to your safe place, just drinking in the turquoise water with your eyes, noticing as the waves either crash or lap into the shore or anything in between. And the next question is going to be about trauma, walking through the fire, and choosing love. Where it came from, the choice, where it came from, the ability to do it, why it's important. And so this may come to you in the form of a magical book that appears with words on a page, or an angel could walk down the beach. This is about healing. How do your soul and mind find peace even through the unspeakable? How do you continue to choose love? As I count you down even deeper, receive this deep inner knowing. 5, in the most powerful and appropriate way. 4, the information comes to you. 3, how does the soul and the mind find peace even through the unspeakable? 2, how to choose love. And 1.
I'm with my, I don't know what to call them, my original family. I'm asking a soul light these questions, which is me too, and it's you, and it's all of us, and through words, the light is saying, you were born with the rope, which is a metaphor of all the coloring and all the steps in the path that you get to take. That you decided to take on certain experiences, and you took them on to choose love. And it's okay if you don't want to choose love. You can do it again. You can continue to learn and to continue to experience from different angles. If you were to look at a sphere and you're experiencing the experience from one angle, you may come again in another angle to experience it, that same experience, but from a different perspective. Maybe you are the one hurting versus receiving the hurt, or you're the one watching the hurting. Ultimately, we are all going back to light, all back to what we call love, which is very unique love. It's a love that we have to find within ourselves. It's usually not taught. It can be felt by very pure souls, but it is something we get to create and to remember, because most have never ever felt this love. But it lies in each one of us, despite the hurt, despite the pain. That remembrance grows within our body, and it ignites within us. And the deeper the pain, the deeper the antidote, the deeper it is within you to find it, to spread it, to reshape everyone's experience to things. You are the amplifier of that love, and that comes through the pain, because pain can only be moved through the alchemy of that love.
So there with your original family, because it feels so nice to be there. And speaking to this soul light, and you are a soul light, and everyone is a soul light, and you're asking this one soul light why. And you're seeing a sphere. And when someone goes through pain, they can choose. And they don't have to choose love. They can choose any perspective. They can choose any side of the sphere. If you want to kind of almost get a little point on the scoreboard, you choose love, because love is the alchemy that neutralizes or blows up the pain. So allow yourself to spend any more time that you'd like here.
Remember that the love is inside you. It is not outside of you that you have to see or feel. It's in you. And I am ready.
That's right. You are ready. And so asking your subconscious mind, or asking this spirit of light, this soul light, over the next 4 years in particular, how to be purposeful with prayers, guidance, protection, how to help Mother Earth with these floods and these fires. And so many are worried, scared. Where does the highest guidance of protection come from?
Everything is a color and a sound or a frequency. Everything. Mother Earth, and all her beauty and all her, what we might call destruction, is just a mirror of the internal frequency of you and the collective you're with, that you are mirroring within yourself. And all is beautiful, like a storm that blows down trees, and a storm that takes out, or in many forms. There's always regrowth. There's always rebirth. Just like a pruning of a rose tree, or a pruning of anything, you prune back to reveal more of its potential, more of its beauty. I'm being shown that what you do is really figure out what frequency and color you're embodying. And with that, choosing that frequency. So it can be of trust, it can be of surrender, it can be of beauty, and holding that within you is infinitely more powerful than the words you speak, or even what you're witnessing. But knowing that not all destruction is what you label bad. It's necessary at times. Mother Earth is a mirror, and Mother Earth doesn't make any mistakes. the next 4 years? What was that?
The politics. Those who are afraid for the next 4 years. How can we spread that to the world to make a difference? I want to be purposeful with my prayers to my higher powers, universe, source for protection and guidance. What can we do with our hearts to not be scared?
I heard scared, I heard fear, which is a color and a frequency. So close your eyes and add what color that feels in resonance. For me, it is almost a brown. It's a brown color, and I see wavelengths that are wide. So you are holding that brown wave frequency deep in your bones, in your body. You are impacting the next 4 years through that frequency. You will see more of fear and more of that scared. What if you choose to see that? Fine. If you choose or would like lightness or joy, it's a different frequency. I often see blue, joy, joy, joy. I see pink, blues, excitement. Those have colors and they have like closer lines of sound. Choose that inside your body. Choose and swallow those colors and that sound and that wavelength inside your body, and you will start to see more of that over the next 4 years.
So now, surrounded by your original family, that pure, pure, pure love, all the soul lights, imagining every Danette before you. Danette from a little tiny baby, Danette as a toddler and a little girl, Danette as a teenager and a young woman, Danette through her 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s, and Danette all the way through to 125-year-old Danette. And just allowing room for if there is one more message of inner wisdom. If any Danette from any time and space, any dimension, would like to step into the center of the circle and either share wisdom, receive wisdom or healing, now is the opportunity to do so, and describe what happens next when you're ready.
I saw a bunch of bodies, little chunky to tall gray, and I saw a light go in the middle, so no body. And it said, for those hearing, to close your eyes for a moment. And just for a moment, see a coral color. Almost like the color you would see outlined on a conch shell with the white, but there's this reddish, orangish coral color that slightly sweeps the conch shell. Maybe it's a light corally pink. Go ahead and see that color now. And any part in your body where you may have felt lack of love or hurt. It might be residing in your neck or your belly or your heart, or maybe even your body is saying, I feel pain here, which is usually just a lack of some type of love or not releasing or forgiveness, and place that coral like a cloth over that place and let it soothe and melt into all the spots, all the layers, all the crevices, as a balm, as like honey. Allow it to just soothe, to release, to love that spot. knowing you're never alone, knowing that you are a divine being, a divine light, and knowing there's no accidents, and letting it melt all the way through, breathing out, and the light left the circle.
Thank you for that beautiful process of healing the whole world. And before I count you back up, one last time, feeling into all the memories, all the learnings, all the aspects and parts of yourself, with bodies and without, throughout time and space, filled with gratitude for the wisdom, the journey. And then one last time, please share who you are.
My name is Danette May. I am light.
Starting to come back now. 1, moving your feet and your toes. 2, moving your hands and your fingers. 3, lots of energy returning to the body. 4, coming back to this place this time. 5, even more energy returning to the body. 6, back to your chair in your home. 7, feeling great. 8, 9, and 10. That was so powerful. And now we're going to break down what we uncovered. First impressions, how do you feel?
I feel there's liquids in my eye, which I didn't feel before. Oh my gosh.
That was
now
amazing.
I want to listen.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So amazing. So we're going to talk through the answers because it's so interesting how if I were to ask your conscious mind, Danette, how does someone go from having $7 in their bank account to $40 million to selling their business? You would be able to say a million things, but they would probably be like, well, first find out what you're passionate about and then build a course and then build a this. You would have all of the steps, but the subconscious mind says, follow the rope and drink the color light. But that's what's real. That's what's so neat, is because the subconscious knows the truth and is speaking about the energetic process and the subconscious beliefs required so that when you do make the spreadsheets and launch the show and figure out the Facebook Live and build a team, it's like the scaffolding, right? The subconscious beliefs are the scaffolding that hold all that up, because I've seen time and time again when people first start hypnotherapy and they don't have the scaffolding yet, and they do all the things, they check all the boxes, they took the course on how to launch the program, and nothing happens. So you're sharing with us what is so magical, but it's also incredibly practical, even if it sounds very different from what our conscious ears are used to hearing.
I actually feel like I gained a tool that I didn't even know about that I'm going to use, because now it's coming back to me a little bit just by you saying that rope. It like showed me, and now I'm like, because I have dreams in my heart. I have things as a human that I would like to experience in this lifetime. And now I'm going to sit and go, what color is that dream? What does it sound like if I could put a sound to it? And then I'm going to swallow it and embody it now and see what happens.
And you're going to have the Think Like Danette recording on our app to guide you through it. Everyone will be able to do this. This is what is so amazing. So I first actually tell us what your staircase was like, the staircase you descended.
Oh, God. And I've done this before, and it was never like this. I was aware of this one big time. It was all gold, which is very elaborate, and usually my stuff is simple. And then in the middle of the staircase, when I stepped down, it turned into amethyst, and then I could feel all the energy of amethyst. And then it was rose quartz on the next step. And then it went to tourmaline and was clearing me out. And then it went to selenite. And then it ended with the last 2 rings were gold. I remember that, the last 2 steps. But I was like, whoa, all gold? I'm like, I want to learn more about gold. Why gold?
Ooh, I love it. And yes, normally for you, it's like, you're walking down some stone steps in the woods or something beachy or, very simple. So the fact that it was all gold and elaborate, that's what's so neat. Is like everything about the process, you're being there. So it's a choice that you're there, but the subconscious is going to show you what it shows you. If your conscious mind was going to choose something, it probably would have been like steps in Costa Rica going down to the jungle forest, but instead gold. And then you said once you got to the middle, it switched to amethyst, then rose quartz, then tourmaline, cleaning you out, then selenite, and the final 2 steps were gold, right?
Yep.
So what's so neat is the listeners of the Think Like Danette recording are going to go down your staircase.
Gold, I think, has some crazy cool properties, and that's making me think where gold is universal to every culture, there's something more to gold.
When you find out, report back. Then I asked about this arc of the $7 to the $700K to the 40 million to the selling of this incredible business just last night. And you immediately saw a rope.
And it's a choice to take your hands and walk along the rope. Just trusting where it's leading.
You have to have the belief that there is a rope and trust that it keeps extending. And that you're being guided even in the dark. The hand is on the rope. So you can be in the dark. It doesn't matter. You're being guided. So whether it's money or it's a beautiful, healthy body or it's relationships, that you are being guided by this rope. And then I said, okay, so what if someone has forgotten they have a rope, or they don't know how to get the rope, or they've let go of the rope? And you said the rope is always there. We're creating color along the rope. When you're born as a baby, the rope is in your hands. So you can let go and you can forget it's there. But the way to remember, because you don't have to make a decision, you don't have to make a choice, you have this lifeline. So if you were in front of someone telling them what to do, you would tell them,
if we believe and just keep walking in that belief that things will show and present themselves. It's just a reflection of the belief inside. But the rope is there, you can hold it. And to know that you have something to walk in the dark and that it's always going, but you're creating the color, you're creating what you're actually seeing along the rope line.
So tell me, with your conscious mind perspective, kind of filling in any missing pieces, what it was like to be shown that.
I mean, it's just showing me that we're equipped with everything. And it's just as mind-blowing to me right now because I'm like, wow, we're creating the colors. The process would be to go back and try to remember you as a baby or going into that baby body because there's codes and remembrances in there that would reignite you as an adult to just re-grab or to just know probably it's already in your hand. You just didn't know that it was there.
So I wanted to understand, as you were walking along the rope, was it like these predetermined pieces of destiny that you were going to walk through them? And that was clearly a no, like there was coloring that you were doing. So you have this faith and this belief and you're being guided, but then you get to color it. And then you said it's like music notes. Like, for example,
let's take a color red and it has a certain vibration, but a sound to it. Let's say red is abundance.
It's got its own beat, its own frequency, its own sound. So what you want to do is be able to swallow this color, swallow this sound, and have it in your body as you walk. So if the thing that you are most interested in calling in, experiencing is abundance, then you've got to name that color, name that sound, name that frequency, embody it by swallowing it, and then walk with it.
And then it will appear on your rope line.
And it appears on your rope line.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you get the sense that it's beneficial to do one color at a time until you're seeing evidence of it on your rope line? Or is it okay to swallow a little red and swallow a little, like you said, blue for you sometimes is joy? And I'll let everyone choose what their colors are assigned to what thing in their subconscious because it could be different for different people. But do you get the sense that it's start with one, or can you swallow a bunch of things at once?
I sense when you ask this, what's coming to me immediately is that it depends on the person, because some people really need to swallow one color to feel this sense of faith or feel this sense of belief. And maybe you need to do that. And there's some people that can just swallow the rainbow and they're just that personality that's like, bring it, and they're just going to leap in with faith. And so I guess it would probably depend on that personality. And you probably would know your personality better than anything.
I love that. Okay, so your happy childhood memory. I was like, let me in that pasture with her. This is my dream. So you were sitting on a fence in a pasture. You said, all my friends are around me. So at first I'm like, is this a birthday party? Like, are you having a bunch of kids over? And then you said, they're four-legged and they have wool and we call them sheep. Because, Eckhart Tolle says one of the, I'm totally paraphrasing, but one of the ways to feel the essence or the truth of something is to remove the name, remove the label. And I love that you got to the name last. They were your friends first. They were four-legged. They had wool, but they didn't become sheep until you'd gone through the whole other explanation. And then you were singing to them. You were making up songs.
The sheep know the vibrancy of me.
And you could sense in this memory that they knew your vibrancy, that they're your friends. You saw your horse, lots of animals, and that they hold power, they hold truth, and they were guiding lights on your path. And you said you didn't know sheep held that so strongly until just then.
Yeah, it was interesting because one sheep, the head and the eyes came in so clear. I'm like remembering it so clear right now. It was telling me, like telepathically, it was like you thought you were singing the words of love and making up, because they were sweet songs. And the sheep head was like, I was telling you what to sing. So that you were singing and pouring over yourself.
Yeah, I got chills all over when you said, I was given the words to sing. So you said you were singing songs about beauty and love. I love you. The sheep were filling me with the words to sing. These affirmations were oozing through my cells. I mean, the chills just went all over. Amazing. And so of all the memories, of all the things that your subconscious could have chosen, it wanted you to remember that now.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So I think you and Craig might need to invite me to your new farm. And I want to come and hang out with your four-legged friends. Oh, amazing. Okay. So then the scary, hard thing. Had you thought about this childhood surgery?
No, I never thought it was hard. I remember vague memories of it in my conscious of feeling a little nervous, but also they were very nice to you,
Yeah.
So that was interesting. It must have been a moment when I was almost slipping that I felt scared, but I kind of had forgotten about it.
Yeah. So what's so neat is how the subconscious kind of starts with one little thing and then it kind of opens up like this, right? So at first you see white, then you hear beeping, then it's I'm in a hospital. Oh, I see nurses. Oh, I'm little. And that's kind of how we tend to gather information in hypnotherapy. It tends to be that way as opposed to just like the picture makes sense. It's like a mosaic and then the aperture widens and we get more and more information. So you were having surgery and then that transition, leaving this earth plane moment of no longer being here, the body starting to leave. There was a moment, at least as little Danette, where that was scary. And your subconscious wanted you to go back to this memory because it was foundational in you becoming who you are. Why? And then you said, I chose this so that I could go back to my other family and reset. And of course, at this point, I'm like, okay, are we talking about like Danette's childhood family? Are we talking about a past life family? But it was actually even cooler than that. It was just the love energy family. And that it was actually an invitation to the soul to go to another realm, to the original family, to find rest, for the spirit to recalibrate, that it was planned by the soul as a young age to be able to go back and rest and then come back into the body kind of recharged.
lies in each one of us, despite the hurt, despite the pain. That remembrance grows within our body and it ignites within us. I'm going to think about surgery differently now.
Me too. And
Yeah.
I was going to ask you when you were in hypnosis, but I waited to ask you until now because I didn't want to dilute the message here. Because at first I thought maybe your subconscious wanted you to see this because one of the first times you experienced this, it was through anesthesia. But so much of your work and your studying and the things that you've mastered are so that you can go home without needing anesthesia. You can just close your eyes and you're home. Mm-hmm. So I thought maybe that would be part of it. That actually I realized, as much as that might be true, I started to think about when I had my endoscopy. And ultimately it led to me realizing I had celiac for years. And that's why I'd been so sick and exhausted and puffy and all the things. And I came back. I mean, it wasn't immediate. I had to heal physically, but that was so instrumental in getting me on the path I'm on now, which is, but I mean, really healthy and all these things. So I was like, wow, did I go home? Is that why everything changed?
It makes us really wonder. I think there's so much to the realms of our lives that we're maybe just learning through hypnosis, or we get through. Yeah, it's fascinating because I never thought of that before, that potentially I had created it so I could go home for a second and get what I needed to come back.
I'll be so interested to hear if folks who are listening, I mean, the moment I put down the like, oh, this must be because of this, and I just was like, no, just listen and hear what's being said. How it instantly reframed that experience to make it so much more empowering and profound.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, it's interesting because before we went on this, and I could feel the energy in my body, because I've done hypnosis with you, it felt like this is so much more than just a hypnosis session for me. This is about information that someone needed to hear. So yes, this might be a memory for me, but this was a memory for me to share so that maybe someone else needs to hear this. Maybe someone else needs to know that these surgeries and these things are potential recalibrations that are, yes, we're having this physical surgery, and yes, these doctors do amazing things, but maybe it's even bigger than that.
And I wonder if conversely, we want the body and the mind to know that it's also possible to go home without something that's so hard.
I know.
So it's almost like if it happens because the physical body needs it, how incredible that there could be this other layer to it. And if the body keeps potentially doing things it needs to do because it wants to be in the position to go home, being able to teach it and say, that's a lovely bonus when it needs to happen, but like you can go home without it too.
Exactly. Like what if you could learn how to go home, rest, which is hypnosis, which is meditation, which is nature and being in that stillness. If we could have that daily practice, potentially we wouldn't choose to have another way to go home.
Yes. Oh, and something else that you described in terms of what it was like to go home. And this reminded me so much of your daughter too, because she's in her 20s and she's been traveling so much. And I wonder if this had anything to do with the visual that was coming to you. But you're in your 20s and you've left home and you've been traveling and you're tired and you're going through hard things. And then you come home and mom feeds you the most nourishing food and puts clean clothes on you and the sheets smell so good. And then you're just filled with light. And then you get to be full again. And you get to be clean again and you get to be rested again. And then you come back. And I just love that visual so much.
Yeah, they were showing me that.
That's awesome. Okay. So one of the final questions, the finding peace after going through the unspeakable. And you had returned back to the original family. You said, I came back to the original family because it's just so nice here. So again, another example of you didn't have to go through anything. You just made a choice and then you were back, because once you feel that unconditional love and once you feel that deep, deep rest and peace and you know how to get there, you can just go there. So you went there without me guiding you there. You just chose to. And then you were asking this soul light a question, and you made it clear, I'm a soul light, you're a soul light, everybody's a soul light. I'm just speaking to a soul light. And I think that was important for you to distinguish that. Why?
I was being told to distinguish that. It felt kind of like it was like, I'm not outside of you. You're asking me this question, but I'm not outside of you, and I'm not outside of anyone listening because they're asking the same question. It was like, we're all asking the same question. We're actually all the same thing. It felt like saying that we're all this soul light.
Wow. I love that. And I think the important thing is for anyone listening to not put anyone up on a pedestal and think they're a purveyor of truth that you can't access, because you're the same soul light asking the same questions, and you can get the same answers within yourself. And so you were asking why hard things, why love? And the light was saying there's all these steps along this journey of life, and you decided to take on certain experiences so that you could choose love. And you were very clear that it's okay to learn and experience from different angles. You don't have to choose love. There's this sphere, and you could choose a different angle. You could experience hurt if you want, and it's totally fun because you can come back another time and choose a different angle on the sphere. And if you want to blow up the sphere and get a little point on the scoreboard, which I love because I know how competitive you are and I know what an incredible athlete you are, I could see why your soul would be like, all right, I'm choosing experiences. I'm going to blow up that sphere. I'm going to put some points on the scoreboard. It's the love game. Because it's when you choose love, that's what blows up the sphere. It blows up the pain. It alchemizes it. It neutralizes it. And the deeper the pain, the more powerful the antidote of the love has to be. So you have to dig deeper into yourself to find that love because it is within you.
Yeah. Yeah, that felt very much like, there was such a strong emphasis on, it was showing me people sitting in almost prayer, and people going in like plant journeys, and people going even into maybe meditation or any type of healing journey or whatever. And they were like, show me the love. Show me the love you have for me. Great Spirit. Maybe they're asking God. There's now love outside of you. It's actually been built inside of you. That you are so loved, that you are, that it was already put inside of you. So you need to go in and grab it and use that as your antidote. It's not outside of you. It's not in some great God, source, whatever, plant. It's already in you. It's already built in you.
Wow. Incredible. So the next and the big final question was around a whole lot of things. Mother Earth, the next 4 years, politics. And I love that it came back to this theme again of everything is a color or a sound or a frequency. And the way you described so poignantly and so effortlessly that when you prune back a rose bush, it's to reveal what's even more beautiful. And that Mother Nature does not make mistakes. And that it's really important for the people who are asking this question, because they're looking for a way to make this a positive, to not hold the frequency of fear. And when you spoke about the politics the next 4 years, it was so clear that you felt the fear and the scared emotions behind the question. And that was a very low vibration vibe and color. And that if you want to make the next 4 years better for you as an individual going through it, choose a different color, choose a different frequency, and don't essentially feed that fear. Choose and swallow that wavelength so that over the next 4 years, you're showing up the way you want to. And I feel like your subconscious didn't say these words exactly, but that's the only way you're going to be the contributing member of society that you want to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting. Like quantum reality in a way. It felt like, if I'm listening to this, it feels kind of like we're creating what we're seeing, right? So we're seeing what is inside of us first, is what's witnessed, whether it's witnessed on TV or on social or in front of your eyes in your own hometown or land or in your own walls of your home, if I want to see something different, I have to embody a different frequency. I have to embody a different color, a different sound, and I will see that outwardly. If you're seeing stuff you don't want to see, watch your own frequency, right? Because if you feel fear, you're going to see a lot of things to be fearful for. And I know this on a conscious level. I obviously teach that, but it was different. It was showing me colors and sound waves, and it was like making it a little easier for me, because there's times when I look at things going on in the world and I'm like, oh, I wish I could help. I wish I could do something. I don't even know. And I'm getting the lesson today through you and through this session that if I can't physically grab someone and give them food or take them out of a situation, then the greatest thing I can do, because I believe in action, is carry the frequency of what I want to see.
Yeah. And I think for folks who might be listening and thinking, but when I turn on the news, it's so devastating. It's so scary. How can I possibly not feel those things? I think of the fact that, when social media changed and the landscape changed, and it was the last time I was pregnant, it's 5 years ago, and I decided to get off social media because I didn't want to be a part of that landscape anymore. And it didn't feel good. And I didn't feel like I was contributing to anything positive. And it felt like the negatives outweighed the positive for me in my life stage. And you were so supportive of that. And I said to you, but Danette, how can you be so brave? And you were just so steadfast. And you were like, I'm protected. I'm safe. And I feel like that's another rope that you had without maybe knowing it, that you just knew. Yeah, there's people out there who want to tear people down, and there's people down there who want to ruin businesses, and there's people out there who will hate what I say, will comment on me in really cruel ways, but I'm protected and I'm safe, and what I need to say is more important. And so it's almost like if you turn on the news and things are terrifying, or they anger you or they upset you, it's even more important that what you hold inside of yourself is strong, because otherwise you just retract. You can't make any contribution.
Right.
And you might be in a life stage where you have to do that. I had to turtle, as you say. I'm always like, I had to unplug, or I went into hiding mode, and you're like, you just are a tortoise and you just went into your shell for a minute, and that's totally fine. So sometimes you got to go into your shell. Sometimes in the life stage you're in, or physically you're going through stuff. But if you're in a place where you actually want to be able to make a difference because you don't like what you're seeing, then you cannot possibly hold fear as your primary frequency. It will not allow you to take the action or the stand that's required to actually make a difference in any way. But if you can hold bravery, if you can hold confidence, if you can hold self-worth, if you can hold joy and levity and love, then you'll have the nourishment and the energy required to actually do something about it.
Yeah. One thing that I'm really sitting with, and I want to share with other people, because we're in this day and era and age of information, right? We have these phones that are constantly with us, and we have TVs in every room, even in other countries that may be having a hard time getting access to really clean food or water, tend to have either a phone or a TV. So we're getting information on overload. And a lot of this information is built on an algorithm, built on this energy frequency we're holding. And so do a test of turning off these screens, turn them off, and then see what you're witnessing, because that is the truth. What you're actually witnessing in your everyday, which usually is this beautiful partner, or this fresh drinking water, or a roof over your head, or food in your fridge, that is your reality. And some of us are not actually swallowing the reality of what's actually in front of us, because we're swallowing the reality of the screen. And then we're becoming that frequency. And we have to be very careful with that, because if you're shifting your frequency because of something you're seeing through a screen, check yourself a little. You might have to turn off that screen.
Especially if the result of that is disempowering.
Yes.
Because that impacts our health and everything. Now, if for any reason there's a superhuman who can scroll and get empowered by that, maybe it's different. But especially if you can feel its diminishing effects, then you've got to make a choice to focus on something different. So you've got the power to make change, if that's what's calling you in this stage of life.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so then the final image, and this was so fun because I haven't seen this, I haven't gotten this image in my mind with any of the other sessions of all the Danettes holding hands in a circle, but it felt like that needed to be the closer. And I love that you said, I saw a bunch of bodies. And how neat is that? Because it's so true that the baby is a completely different body than the 20-year-old, which is completely different from the 80-year-old, which is completely different from the 125-year-old. So these aren't the same person, actually. It's all different bodies. There's a thread connecting them, and it's your life story. If your body was going through stuff 5 years ago, you've got a different body now. And if your body's going through stuff now, you can have a different body in 3 years. Mm-hmm. And then you said, and then a light popped in the middle, which had no body. And then you walked us through this beautiful impromptu healing experience.
Close your eyes for a moment and see a coral color, almost like the color you would see outlined on a conch shell. Go ahead and see that color now. And any part in your body where you may have felt lack of love or hurt, place that coral like a cloth over that place and let it soothe and melt into all the spots, all the layers, all the crevices as a balm, knowing you're never alone, knowing that you are a divine being, divine light, and knowing there's no accidents.
And allow that coral to work all the way through. So now light is one of your magical tool powers. Light and color.
Oh, you have such a gift because I learned a lot through this, actually. I learned stuff that I'm really going to implement. Really powerful.
Oh, me too. And in the beginning, I asked you, who are you? And you said, I am Danette May, and I am of the stars. And then at the end, I am Danette May, I am light.
May I always remember.
Yes, may you always remember. So thank you for your time, love, here today. This was incredible. I am going to be listening to the Think Like Danette recording so much. I can't wait to see what happens swallowing these colors and these lights and these frequencies and choosing love. So any additional thoughts?
I just love you and thank you for doing this show. It's not easy. And you're dedicating your time and your energy to pull the truth from individuals that you want to bring here, that it's going to impact so many people. And I want to say thank you for that because it's not easy work and I commend you for it.
Oh, thank you so much, love. I hope everyone gets as much out of it as I really genuinely believe that they will. I can't wait to hear the feedback from this episode. And you offer so many incredible things to the world, including your premium coaching, including all of your incredible books. I have The Rise here, and then I have this many of Embrace Abundance still, because whenever my friends publish a book, I buy at least 10 copies because I know how hard, it's like you can put together a course in a weekend and charge $2,000 for it. It can fly off the shelves like this. Books take years and they're $16 and they can be so hard to get into the hands of the folks. It doesn't always have to be, but a lot of times it's very challenging to do that. So I always love, it's just a little token of my love and appreciation for the time and effort you put into getting these words on paper. Buy at least 10 copies. And then when friends come over, I'm able to hand them out and give them as gifts. But The Rise came out a long time ago, so I already gave all the extra copies out. So you've got your books, you've got your programs, you've got Earth Echo, incredible things that are now your legacy. So where can everyone find you, and what are you most excited for folks to look into of all of your offerings?
Oh, man. Well, you can follow me on social or on my podcast, which is The Danette May Show. I think that's probably the most intimate version of me is my podcast because it's me and it's my voice and it's mine. But honestly, Grace, I'm like thinking about all the offerings I do, and I would say the greatest offering I could give them would be a visit to my star family and the wisdom that was imparted there. Honestly, I'm like mind blown right now. This is like bringing up a lot within me of truth because, wow, like I don't want to create anything without my subconscious now. Because it's like a dumbed down version of the real hardcore truth.
Okay. Well, thank you for everything, love. You are amazing. You have been such a tremendous friend and mentor and guide and sister in my life. And now everyone listening is going to get to see a whole deeper side of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Inside the Grace Hypnotherapy app, you'll find the exclusive Think Like Danette hypnotherapy session designed to help you grab hold of your own rope, embody the frequencies of abundance, and choose love as your alchemy. This is more than just listening. You get to experience it for yourself. Step into Danette's subconscious in this guided journey. Walk along the rope of trust, feeling the certainty that it will always extend before you. Tune into the colors and the sounds of abundance, swallowing them as they become part of your reality. You'll travel to Danette's safe place, toes in the soft sand, tasting the sea salt, connected to your limitless potential. Danette showed us that everything is frequency. What you hold inside shapes what you see outside. This Think Like hypnotherapy session will help you shift your inner reality and create the life that's already waiting for you. And the best part, it's completely free to start. So if you're ready to unlock the wisdom already inside you, head to getgrace.com now to download our app and start your transformation today. And if you loved this format, stay tuned. This is just the beginning. We'll be exploring more subconscious breakthroughs with incredible guests, helping you tap into the wisdom already inside you. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a thing. Until next time, remember this. You are the creator of your own frequency, your own colors, and your own path. Everything you need is already inside you. You just have to trust it.